Hi guys, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we'll be looking at junior school mathematics questions. Alright, our first question says the mean height of three groups of students of 20, 16, and 14 students are 1.67 meters, 1.5 meters, and 1.4 meters respectively. What is the mean height of all the students? Now, let's look at our group 1. For group 1 of 20 students, now it says the mean height is, our mean height is 1.67. Now, group 2 of 16 students, our mean height is 1.50 meters. Now, for group 3 of 14 students, our mean height is 1.40 meters. Now, they're asking us for the mean height of all those students put together. Now, our total number of students will be 16 plus 14 will be 30 plus 20. So we have a total of 50 students. Now, for us to calculate the mean height of these 50 students, we know that mean equals summation of our frequency all over the number of students. Now, for group 1, okay, we have 20 students, that is our n, and we have the mean to be 1.6. So 1.67 equals EFX over 20. So for us to find our EFX equals 20 times 1.67. So 20 times 1.67 will give us EFX equals 20 times 1.67 would give us 33.4. All right, so that's the summation of all the heights of 20 students in group 1. So for group 2, which we are having 16 students, which is our n, our mean is 1.5 times, okay, 1.5 equals EFX all over 16, which will give us our EFX would be 16 times 1.5, which we're having as 16 times 1.5 would give us 24. Now for group 3, we are having it as 14 students as our n. So our mean is 1.4 equals EFX over 14, which will give us EFX equals 14 times 1.4, which would be 14 times 1.4 will give us 19.6. Now, for us to have our summation, we will be having EFX of group 1. So let's call this 1 EFX1, EFX2, and EFX3. EFX1 plus EFX2 plus EFX3 all over our total number n, which will be 50. So our EFX1 is 33.4 plus EFX2 24 plus EFX3 19.6 all over 50. So this will have as 19.6 plus 24 plus 33.4, which will give us 77 over 50. So 77 divided by 50, we'll be having it as our mean height for the 50 students will be 1.54 meters. So we'll be having it as 1.54 meters, which is our option C. The mean and the range of the set of numbers 1.2, 1.0, 0.9, 1.4, 0.8, 0.8, 1.2, and 1.1 are P and Q respectively. That means our mean is represented with P and our range is represented with Q. Now, what is the value of P divided by Q. That means we are looking for the value of mean divided by our range. Now, for us to find our mean, we know that mean is our summation of our frequencies all over the number. This will become 1.2 plus 1 plus 0.9 plus 1.4 plus 0.8 plus 0.8 plus 1.2 plus 1.1 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. All right. So this we would have as 1.2 plus 1 plus 0.9 plus 1.4 plus 0.8 plus 0.8 plus 1.2 plus 1.1. All right. So this is giving us 8.4. 8.4 divided by 8. So 8.4 divided by 8 would give us 1.05. That's our mean. Now range is highest number in a set of data, highest value in a set of data minus lowest value in a set of data. Now our highest value in this set of data is 1.4 and the lowest is 0.8. So our range will become 1.4 minus 0.8, which gives us 0.6. Now back to our question of calculating our mean divided by range. Our mean now will be 1.05 divided by 0.6. All right, so 1.05 divided by 0.6 would have our answer to be 1.75 as the mean of this question. A girl on top of a story building 36 meters high dropped a 10 naira note on the ground below. If the angle of depression of the 10 naira note is 35 degrees, how far is the money from the girl? Now, our question says the girl is on top of this building, and this building is 36 meters high. All right, she drops a note, all right, to this point, and the angle of depression is 35 degrees. How far is the note from the girl? All right, how far is the money from the girl? So in this case, we know that angle of depression equals angle of elevation. So this will refer to as 35 degrees. Why? Because they are alternate angles. Now, for us to find out how far the money is from the girl, that means we have to calculate our hypotenuse. So we can use this as our opposite, bearing in mind this angle, and these are adjacent. So having it as opposite and hypotenuse, we'll be looking at our SOHCAHTOA, where we have sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, cos equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and our tan equals opposite over adjacent. So in this case, since we're looking for hypotenuse and we have our opposite, we'll be using our sine. So this becomes sine 35 equals opposite over hypotenuse, where our opposite is 36 over hypotenuse, which is x. So cross multiplying, this gives us x sine 35 equals 36. So x equals 36 over sine 35, which will give us sine 35 would give us 0.5736. So this will be 36 divided by 0.5736, which will be having us 62.76 meters. So the note is 62.76 meters away from the girl, which is our option E. After what length of time will 2,400 naira yield an interest of 60 naira at 1.5% per annum? Now, we have our principal to be 24, and interest to be 60, then rate to be 1.5%, which is 3/2%. Okay, then we are looking for time, t. All right, now we know that interest equals principal times rate times time all over 100. So making t as subject of formula, cross multiplying, this becomes 100i equals principal, rate, and time. So t will be 100i all over principal times rate. Okay, now substituting our values here, we would have it as interest time t equals 100 times interest is 60 all over principal is 24 and the rate is 3/2. All right, now if we do the inverse of this becomes t equals 100 times 60 all over 24 times 3, yes, times 3 times 2. Okay, now here our denominator will go up while our numerator comes down. All right, so this will have cancelling our zeros. 2 here 1, 2 here 12, 12 here 1, 12 here 5, leaving us with t equals 5/3, which will give us 1 whole number 2/3 years, which is our option B, 1 whole number 2/3 years. Two similar cylindrical cans have heights of 7 cm and 21 cm. Now, if the smaller can holds 250 grams of sugar, how many kg of sugar will the larger one hold? Now the question is, how many grams can this one hold? Now for us to find the grams of this, we can cross multiply. This becomes 7 times x equals 21 times 250. All right, having it as 21 times 250 divided by 7 would give us x will become 750 grams. Now, in converting grams to kilogram, that means we have 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. So our 750 grams will become 750 divided by 1,000, which will give us 0.75 kg. So it will be able to hold 0.75 grams. If the first term of an AP is 1.2 and the common difference is also 2, what is the mean of the first 5 terms? Now, we know that for AP, we have A, which is our first term. Then the next sequence will be A plus D plus A plus 2D and A plus 3D in that order. All right, now where A is our first term, all right, our general formula for this is Tn equals A plus bracket open n minus 1D. Now A is our first term, is giving us 1.2, and D, which is our common difference, is giving us 2. All right, now for us to find the first 5 terms, we have our T1, which is A, as 1.2. Now T2, which is A plus D, will become 1.2, which is A, plus D, which is a common difference, to be 3.2. And T3, which is the next term, will be A plus 2D, which will give us 1.2 plus 2 bracket common difference D. So 2 times 2 will give us 4. 4 plus this will give us 5.2. Now T4, which is A plus 3D, will give us 1.2 plus 3 bracket 2. Now 3 times 2 will give us 6. 6 plus 1.2 will give us 7.2. And T5 will be A plus 4D, which will be 1.2 plus 4 bracket 2. Now 4 times 2 will give us 8. 8 plus 1.2 will give us 9.2. Now, the question says, what is the mean of the first 5 terms? Now, this is the first 5 terms of our sequence. So, for us to find the mean, our mean equals 1.2 plus 3.2 plus 5.2 plus 7.2 plus 9.2 divided by 5. Okay? So 1.2 plus 3.2 plus 5.2 plus 7.2 plus 9.2 would give us 26. So 26 divided by 5 would give us a 5.2. So the mean of the first 5 terms for this sequence will be 5.2. The angle subtended by a diameter of a circle at the circumference is, now if we have a circle and we have a diameter, now remember that your diameter is a chord that touches both ends of your circumference passing through the center of your circle. All right, now since we have our diameter in this form, now they're asking us for the angle subtended by this diameter at the circumference. Now, any angle subtended by the diameter at the circumference forms a right angled triangle. This simply obeys the law of the theorem that says that angle at center is twice angle at circumference. So this will give us a right angle. Calculate 0.05 times 0.025 divided by 4.25 times 3.35. Now, it says express your answer in standard form. For our numerator, we can say our 0.05 is something as 5.0 times 10 raised power minus 2, and 0.025 is something as 25.0 times 10 raised power minus 3. Okay, now bringing these two together, this becomes 5 times 25 times 10 raised power minus 3 minus 2 plus minus 3. Okay, so this will give us 5 times 25 will give us 125. So this will give us 125 times 10 raised power minus 5. Now remember that for this, it will be minus 2 plus times minus will be minus 3, which will give us a minus 5. All right. Now this for our numerator. Now for the denominator, we have it as 4.25, which we can rewrite as a whole number to be 425 times 10 raised power minus 2, and our 3.35, we can rewrite it as 3.335 times 10 raised power minus 2. Now bringing this together, we have 425 times 335 times 10 raised power minus 2 plus minus 2. All right, so this we have 425 times 335. Okay, we have this as 142,375 times 10 raised power minus 4. Okay, now having this way, we'll bring these two together. This we are going to have 125 times 10 raised power minus 5 divided by 142,375 times 10 raised power minus 4. Okay, so separating our whole numbers, we have 125 divided by 142,375 This will give us 8.7796 times 10 raised to the power minus 5 minus, because of this division, minus 4. All right, so this will give us 8.7796 times 10 raised to the power minus 5 plus 4. Okay? So having this, we are going to have it as 8.7796 times 10 raised to the power minus 4 times 10 raised to the power minus 1. So bringing these two together, this will give us 8.7796 times 10 raised to the power minus 5. So our answer will become 8 times 8.7796 times 10 raised to the power minus 5, which is option E. Simplify 216 raised to the power 1 over 3 all times all raised to the power minus 2. Now, 216 raised to the power 1 over 3 can be rewritten as cube root of 216. Okay? If we have cube root of 216, all raised to the power minus 2. Okay, this, because of this negative sign, when we can change it to positive by having it as cube root of 216, 1 over cube root of 216, all raised to the power 2. Okay? Now we've eliminated our negative to make it positive. Now, the next thing we are going to do is, what's the cube root of 216? Cube root of 216 is 6. So this becomes 1 over 6 squared. Okay? Now, 1 over 6 squared will give us what? 1 over 6 times 6 will be 36. So our answer will be 1 over 36, which is option A. Divide the LCM of 15ABC and 20A squared BC by their HCF. Now, for LCM, we have 15ABC LCM, which is our lowest common multiple, and 20A squared BC. All right? Now, starting with the least factor, 2, this will have 15ABC and 10A squared BC. Next, then we have 2 again, 15ABC and 5A squared BC. Then 3, 5ABC and 5A squared BC. Then 5, ABC and A squared BC. A, BC and ABC. Another A, BC, BC. B, C, C, and C, 1, 1. So our LCM would be 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 3, 12, 12 times 5, 60, 60 times A, and BC. This will become 60A squared BC. Now for HCF, which is the highest common factor, we have 15A BC and 20A squared BC. Now for the highest common factor, we are looking for a factor that can divide both numbers equally. All right, so now 5 will go into 15 and 20 comfortably. So 5 will give us 3ABC and 4A squared BC. Now what else? A can go. A into this will give us 3BC and 4ABC. Now since we do not have another A here, we can't divide with an A. So next figure is a B. All right, so this becomes 3C and 4AC. Then the next is a C, which will give us C and 3 and 4A. So our HCF, highest common factor, will become 5ABC. 5ABC. Now the question says divide the LCM by the HCF. Now, if we're having LCM divided by HCF, this will become 60A times A times B times C all over 5 times A times B times C. Now, C would cancel C, B would cancel B, A would cancel A, 5 here, 1, 5 into 60, 12. So our answer will become 12A. which is option B. The first term of an AP is equal to thrice the common difference. What is the sixth term of the AP if the common difference is 8? Now, our first term, T1, which is A, equals, from the question, it says thrice, means 3 times the common difference. All right, so this becomes 3 times 8, which will give us 24. So our first term A is 24. And we know that for T6 is A plus n minus 1D, where n is 6, and that D is a common difference. A is our first term. So this gives us A plus 6 minus 1, 5D. Now, in this case, our A is 24 plus 5 times 8, which is our common difference. So this becomes 24 plus 40 will give us 64. So the sixth term will be 64, which is option A. Solve the equation 3 over 2 bracket x minus 2 minus 2 bracket over 3 bracket 2 minus x equals 0. Now, to do this, we'll first of all open up our denominator. This becomes 3 over 2x minus 4. 2 times 2, 4, minus 2 all over 3 times 2, 6, minus 3x equals 0. Now, collecting our like terms, finding our LCM first. We get our LCM first. So our LCM will become 2x minus 4 and 6 minus 3x. All right, 2x minus 4 here will give us 1, leaving us with 6 minus 3x. So this becomes 3 bracket 6 minus 3x minus 2 bracket 6 here, 6 minus 3x here will leave us with 2x minus 4. 2x minus 4 equals 0. Now, if you cross multiply, this multiplied by 0 will give us 0. So we're having our numerator as 3 bracket 6 minus 3x minus 2 bracket 2x minus 4 equals 0. Now, expanding this bracket, 3 times 6 will give us 18 minus 3 times 9, 3 times 3, 9x. Now, minus 2 times 2, 4x, and minus times minus plus 2 times 4, 8 equals 0. Now, collecting our like terms together, 8 plus 18 would give us 26. This becomes 18 plus 8 minus 9x minus 4x equals 0. So this we have as 26 minus 13x equals 0. So moving our 13x over to this other side, we have it as 13x equals 26. So x equals 26 over 13, which will give us 2. So the value of our x will be 2, which is option B. A car travels at an average speed of 75 kilometers per hour. Find its speed in meters per second. Now, we are looking for the speed in meters per second. And we know that 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. So for 75 kilometers will be x meters. So cross multiply, x meters equals 75 times 1,000, which will give us 75,000 meters. Now, we also know that 1 hour equals 3,600 seconds. All right. Now, since we are asked to find the speed in meters per seconds, so our speed in meters per seconds will become 75,000 divided by 3,600. So this will become 750 divided by 36, which will give us 750 divided by 36 would give us 20.833 meters per second. So which is our option D, 20.8 meters per second. A sales boy gave a change of 75 naira to a buyer instead of 80 naira. Calculate his percentage error, correct to one decimal place. Now, for percentage error, all right, we know our formula to be error all over actual times 100 over 1. Now, in this case, the actual value he was supposed to give the buyer is 18 naira. So our actual here would be 18 naira. All right, and our error would be 80 minus 75, which is 5 naira. Okay, so he has an error of 5 naira. All right, so for our percentage error now would be 5 over actual 80 times 100 over 1. Cancelling 2 here, 4, 2 here, 5. So we have 25 divided by 4. All right, 25 divided by 4 would give us 6.25. But now, they said we should correct to one decimal place. Correcting to one decimal place would give us 6.3. Why? Because 5 is more than 4, so we convert it to 1 and add to 2 to give us 3. So this becomes 6.30%, one decimal place. So our answer will become option C. The roots of a quadratic equation in x are minus m and 2n. Find the equation. Now, this is x equals to minus m and x equals to 2n. So therefore, x minus m equals 0 and x plus m, because negative crossing over becomes positive, and x minus 2n, positive crossing over becomes negative, equals 0. Now bringing these two terms together, x plus m, x minus 2n, all right, equals 0. So we expand these factors. X times x will give us x squared. X minus 2n will give us minus 2nx. M times x will give us plus mx. M times minus 2n will give us minus 2mn. All right, equals 0. Now, since these two terms are having x in common, so we bring them together. This becomes x squared minus 2n. Sorry, our x is common, so we bring out our x, bracket 2n minus m minus 2mn equals 0. Okay, so this forms our equation. X squared minus x, bracket 2n minus m minus 2mn equals 0. So our answer will become option A. The bearing of y from x is 0.85 degrees. What is the bearing of x from y? Now, the bearing of y from x, so if this is our position x, and we have it as 0.85 degrees to get to bearing y, all right? Now, they're asking for the bearing of x from y. So we have to calculate this bearing. This angle here is what we have to calculate. And we know that having this is already 85 degrees, all right, alternate angles. Since we have it as alternate angles, and from here to here is 180 degrees. So the bearing will become 180 plus 85, which will give us 5. 8 plus 8, 6. Rather 6, carry 1. 1 plus 1, 2. So our angle will become 265 degrees, which is option D. 4 pupils have an average age of 12 years, and 2 other pupils of average age of 10.5 years were added. What is the average age of the 6 people? Now, if we are looking for mean of 4 people, for 4 people, we have it as 12 equals EFX over 4. So our EFX will become 12 times 4, which will give us 48. Okay, now for the two people that we added, our mean is 10.5, all right, EFX over 2. So this becomes EFX will become 10.5 times 2, which will give us 21. So joining these two, we are having it as 69. So our mean, the mean of the 6 people will become 69 over 6, which will give us 11.5 years, which is our option C. A bag contains P dozens of bananas and 3 kg of these proved to be bad. If I buy 1/3 of the goods, of the good ones, how many do I get? Now, we know that we have P dozen of bananas, okay, and 3 kg out of the P dozens are bad. Okay, now for a dozen is 12. So we can say, turn this statement to be 12 P bananas, all right, are good. Now, if we now subtract, for us to get how many are good, minus 3 kg that is bad, all right, will give us the number of good ones. But now we say if we buy 1/3 of the good ones, so that will become 1/3 of 12P minus 3 kg. So this will give us 12P minus 3 kg divided by 3. Now, factorizing this, we have what's common here is 3, 4P minus 1 minus Q all over 3. So for the good ones, we have it as 4P minus Q will be the value for the good ones, which is option D. One of the interior angles of a regular polygon is 120 degrees. Find the number of sides of the polygon. Now we know that for sum of angles in the polygon, we have it as n minus 2 bracket 180 degrees for sum of angles in the polygon. So if we are looking for one angle, okay, we divide this total sum by the number of sides of the polygon. So applying this formula, we've been given that one side is 120 degrees equals n minus 2 bracket 180 all over n, okay, equals 120. So for us to find our n, we can cross multiply. This gives us 120n equals n minus 2 bracket 180. Opening up this bracket, we have it as 120n equals 180n minus 360. All right. Now, collecting like terms, we would have it as 180n minus 120n equals 360. Okay. So from here, 180 minus 120 will give us 60n equals 360. So therefore, n equals 360 over 60, which will give us 6 sides. So the polygon has 6 sides, which is option C. Alright guys, with this, we've come to the end of today's tutorials. Don't forget to like, subscribe, click on your notification buttons for more updates. If there be any questions or comments, put them down in the comment section below.